When you open the Praxis 5581 study guide, you are immediately met with centuries of U.S. government history, constitutional law, and political philosophy. Take a breath. This exam is designed to verify baseline civic literacy for future educators. It doesn't require the depth of a constitutional law degree. The individual concepts in the guide are manageable, but the sheer volume of material creates a logistical bottleneck for anyone trying to study while working a full-time schedule. Traditional guides lead you chronologically, giving the same weight to colonial farming as they do to the Bill of Rights, burning days on low-yield trivia before reaching the high-point sections. We will break that timeline and map your hours based on a strict return on investment calculation. This chart separates high-yield facts from historical trivia. Memorizing the exact text of every constitutional amendment falls into the high-effort, low-impact zone. Conversely, the 14th Amendment, guaranteeing citizenship and equal protection, takes minutes to learn and yields multiple points. To pass the 5581, you have to move past the goal of being a historical expert and adopt the mindset of a strategic test taker. We apply this ROI framework first to the foundational texts. Many test takers waste hours studying the tactical details of Revolutionary War battles, but the Praxis awards almost 0 points for military history. Shift that focus to the Articles of Confederation. You secure the points here by knowing 3 exact flaws. The national government was too weak, it could not levy taxes, and it could not regulate trade. When you reach the Constitutional Convention, look for the Great Compromise. You don't need the day-by-day debate history. You just need to know it created a 2-house Congress to solve the failures of the Articles. The exam rewards candidates who understand the mechanical reasons why a government structure failed, rather than those who memorized the chronological timeline of its drafting. The most effective shortcut for the Supreme Court section is the association matrix. We take case history and reduce it to 2-word shorthand. The highest ROI pairing on the test links the 1803 case Marbury v. Madison directly to the phrase judicial review. Reading the actual court transcripts would take you hours. Memorizing that specific association takes seconds and guarantees a point when they ask about the court's power to declare a law unconstitutional. Use the same linkage for the others. McCulloch v. Maryland ties to federal supremacy. Gibbons v. Ogden ties to interstate commerce. The Dred Scott case carries heavy historical weight as a catalyst for the Civil War, but the exam requirements for it are stripped down to a single fact. It denied citizenship to African Americans. Linking that fact back to the 14th Amendment, which explicitly overturned that decision, creates a high-value study fact covering both a landmark case and a crucial amendment. This strategy converts complex legal histories into an associative memory task, allowing you to clear the section much faster. Once your associations are set, you have to watch for the test maker's favorite vocabulary traps. The exam tests your ability to maintain a strict mental divide between similar-sounding terms. On the Praxis, civil rights refers to the right to equal treatment and the freedom from discrimination. Civil liberties refers to your freedom from government interference in personal actions, like free speech or the exercise of religion. In everyday conversation, people use these terms interchangeably. To secure the point, you have to actively unlearn that habit and think in these specific categories. The test also requires you to apply the mechanics of checks and balances to scenarios, rather than just reciting abstract definitions. If a question describes the president vetoing a bill, the correct answer will likely ask you to identify that Congress holds the power to override it. If a scenario involves a law violating the Bill of Rights, you must identify the Supreme Court's exclusive role in determining constitutionality. You secure these points by memorizing the exact rigid boundaries between the 3 branches, rather than relying on general political knowledge. We formalize this into the 5581 triage protocol. Your study path is dictated entirely by your calendar. If testing in less than 2 weeks, follow this path. Focus exclusively on the highest yield data, the top 10 court cases, and the Reconstruction amendments. At this stage, you should skip the structures of local city councils and broad philosophical history. Your goal is hitting the minimum viable passing metric. If you have more than a month to prepare, you can afford to expand into secondary topics. This includes understanding John Locke's ideas on the consent of the governed, a concept that heavily influenced the founding documents. Your available time must dictate your depth. Attempting the broader path on a tight schedule will lead to burnout and a lower score. It can feel uncomfortable to intentionally skip portions of an official study guide, but you have to trust the data. Remember that this exam measures your readiness for the classroom. It is not an attempt to trick you with obscure legal trivia. Stick to the high-yield associations, accept that some rote memorization is absolutely necessary, and secure your passing score. Ultimately, success on the 5581 comes down to aligning your preparation with the specific priorities of the exam board.